Jag är i Skottland och ska träffa en kollega kan man säga som jobbar med samma saker som jag gör hemma i Sverige. Han heter Neil Rowantree och han ska visa oss hur kronhjortsjakten på höglandet kommer att gå till. När man kommer till Skottland, så här, vad tänker man på? Det finns ju massor med saker som associerar till Skottland. Är man sportintresserad så tänker man på Archie Gemmills fantastiska konstmål under ett fotbolls-VM. Man tänker på Andy Murray som en duktig tennisspelare naturligtvis, en av världens bästa. Man tänker på säckpipa, man tänker på kilt, man tänker på whisky, man tänker på väldigt dåligt väder, mycket regn och på kronhjortar och kronhjortsjakten på höglandet. Vi vet inte så mycket om det här än, men det ska bli väldigt spännande och intressant att se hur jakten går till här. Det enda vi vet är att vi har inte regn, vi har ett fantastiskt väder och vi vet att det finns kronhjort. Ja, lite annorlunda kläder än vad vi är i Sverige kan man säga. Men good morning, good morning!
So what we're going to do, if you follow us with your bus, we're going to go to the shooting range.
Yes.
And we'll fire a few shots.
Yes.
And then we'll make a plan and start hunting. Okay. Splendid.
Good.
Make sure you have binoculars if you've got them with you. And I see you've all got gaiters, and take your lunch packet with you.
Yes, we have some.
Perfect. So here is about 12,500 hectares.
Yes, okay. Huh?
And on the western end, on the main forest, are about 500 stags. Okay.
Okay.
The population is split in three ways. There is a part of the population that stays on the mountain. There's a part of the population that lives in the oak trees on the shore.
Yeah.
And there's a part of the population that now has access to these forests. About 20 years ago, we took the fences down and let them go in.
Okay.
And at this time of year, the Germans use the term feist. The stags are resting up before the rut. So in the main forest you drove past are about 200 stags at the moment.
Okay.
Okay. Down on the shore side is about 80, and the rest of them are up here on the top.
Yeah.
We try to carry the population to make it stag heavy, so it's running at 1 to 1.2. Males to females, so it's quite a tight ratio of almost 1 to 1. We have a fecundity, a recruitment rate of around 40%, which is quite high for Scotland.
Yeah.
But the advantage you have here is over on the coast. This is the most mild part of Britain. The Atlantic conveyor, the Gulf Stream, comes ashore here.
Okay.
So we have maximum 3-4 days a year when there's any snow.
Okay, maximum 3 to 4. Okay.
Yeah.
We have more in Sweden.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
What we find here that's quite interesting is that the thing that affects the deer is the rain. You get a lot of heavy rain here,
Yeah.
and storms coming in from the Atlantic.
Yes,
and
of course.
it's continuous exposure to rain that causes mortality, because the one thing that makes red deer or any deer good to eat is because they're lean. They don't carry big fat reserves. And
Yes.
it means if there's harsh weather conditions, the thing that makes them prone to mortality if they're exposed is they don't have any fat reserves.
No, yes.
So
Yeah.
it swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
And this is what made us make the decision to give them access back to the forests. By nature, they're a creature of the forest edge anyway. And now that they can come and go from the forests, we have much less mortality.
Okay.
And we also have another trick, I'll show you this later.
Okay.
Further down the peninsula, we have a whiskey distillery.
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Well, you would expect that. But one of the byproducts of the whiskey distillery is a thing they call draft, which is the barley after it's been processed to create the liquid is a waste product from the distillery.
Okay.
But it makes exceptional food for deer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So throughout the winter months, we feed them the
Yeah, you
draft
feed them,
from
yes.
the whiskey distillery.
Okay.
And come with me and I'll show you the difference it makes.
Yes. Ja, det var häftigt.
This is the preparation area. The deer come into.
Yeah.
You don't want to be filmed eating your breakfast, Tony, do you? So the man in here runs the butchery. This is Tony.
Yeah.
And what we do is to add value to the deer all the way through the journey. When they come in from the hunt, they come through this door.
Yeah.
And this is what we call the green room. So the room changes purposes at different times. So what you can't do here is be processing meat and bring an animal killed straight from the field.
Yeah.
So like so this morning, Tony is in here processing the venison. Yeah. These are all products that are going for sale.
Yes,
later today we'll bring a stag in, but the two events won't cross over.
Yeah.
So when they come in, they're cleaned out in this area. All of the waste product from the deer, we market quite extensively our own venison. So what we do is we have a sales pitch that we say our venison is eagle friendly. So we have on the coast here sea eagle and further inland golden eagles, and all of the processed byproduct from the venison, anything that's shot damaged, we put it out for the eagles. And,
out
for the eagles to eat.
Yeah, to the eagles, yes.
Now it has two benefits. One, it diverts them from anywhere where they're causing problems, particularly when we have periods of the year when they have young lambs.
Yes.
And the other thing it does is it allows us to run alongside the hunting business a wildlife tourism business. This is sort of condition that we would expect to see on our red deer at the moment.
This is good.
Yeah. And I'll show you through in the freezer some of our products.
Yeah.
And you can give me your opinion. Yeah. So this is your ground meat, this is your venison.
Yeah.
And that's your venison mints. And you can see compared with what you would normally get for it, I mean, we get £6.30 per kilo here.
Yeah.
Okay. So automatically it's a big change.
£6 per kilo, it's about 70, ungefär 70 svenska kronor.
Yeah. So it represents, and that's our cheap end product.
Yes.
The big sellers are things like the venison burgers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now these cost us about £12 pence each to manufacture. We obviously have the meat content to it, and we are getting £5.80 per kilo for that.
Yes.
And what was really interesting in this journey, and I think if you have a chance to explore this at home, when we first started talking to local people, we said we're going to make a butchery for the venison. They said if we want a deer, we'll shoot it ourselves. Mm. But I think tragically across all of Europe, and maybe you see this in Africa too, the skills to be able to process meat are gone. Mm. Guys can take it to the hair-on cleaned out, but there's not a lot of guys that can make burgers, steaks. Yeah. We do other product like this. Now what we do here, we call this a Pave Steak. Now Pave is just a French word for a cobble, for a square of meat. These are the muscles from the back leg, from the haunch. Okay. And typically very few people buy this now, because the ability to cook a large roast and have time to do it, people don't do this. No. This will cook in 30 minutes. Okay. This is a muscle from the back leg, and we're getting for this £15.80 per kilo.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very good. Yes.
So this quadruples the value of the deer. So a red stag, one of the red stags you hunt this week, will be worth £1,000 to us. Yeah. Just the meat. So
this is a real big business for you.
Yes. Yeah.
The hunting, the meat, and everything.
Yes. It sustains on the estate 4 full-time jobs. But it also provides, we have a castle that you'll be dining at later in the week, we have a hotel, and we also have a local community centre, and all of these meat products go there.
So you sell it to the stores and everything, yes?
This now mail orders all over the UK.
Okay.
So it works. We can mail order to Sweden if you want.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much.
You have your own.
Något som är fascinerande med Storbritannien är den stora variationen av olika klövviltarter. Grevskapen tog för hem en mängd olika djurarter och satte ut runt gods och gårdar. Frilevande stammar finns nu av exempelvis myntjack, kinesiska vattenrådjur, sikahjort och den här lilla märkliga figuren, en davidshjort eller Pere David's deer på engelska. Vi är som sagt här på jakt efter kronhjort. Detta är ädla vilt som vi även har hemma i Svedala. Ungefär så här ser troféerna ut här, så de är ju något mindre än hemma, och det fanns några skapligt stora här också faktiskt, som är hyggligt stora.
You get something like that.
This is a big one for
for here. But you will see slightly bigger. This week you're shooting one big guy. He'll probably, I mean this is a younger one, he died when he was shot because he was injured.
Okay.
He'd actually got himself caught up in a fence and we just couldn't get him clear. but he's still young enough yet. But that's, you would expect something up about here is one of the bigger trophy guys.
Okay.
So 16, 18 points, I would think, something like that we'll go for.
Okay, okay.
But other than that, this is your typicals.
Yeah.
What we're going down to just now, the shooting range is down here.
Yeah.
As you look south, you can see the island of Mull. So this is another Hebridean island. And this is Loch Sunart. And what you'll find here very quickly is the connection between Scandinavia and Scotland is massive. I mean, there's a lot of the house, for example, that you're staying at, Faskadale. Well, if you look at its old name, it's Fieskadal. And these places picked up their names from the influences of the Viking raiders.
Okay.
Because the Vikings settled all around this area. This sea loch here, Loch Sunart, the original origin of the name, Svensfjord.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's...
And he wasn't a Scottish guy.
No. E-passet funkar naturligtvis om man ska ta med sig egna vapen. Nu var det lite kort om tid och då har de naturligtvis lånevapen, så att den här gången så får det bli lånevapen, men det ska nog kunna gå det också.
If you look exactly 100 meters away, you can see the black silhouette of our effort as a steel deer. Okay. You see it here against the rock face with the red squares.
Yes.
If you can place a shot in that red square for me, then all is good.
Vi har lite kor här till höger om oss, så vi ska väl avvakta. De går rakt in nu i inskjutningsvinkeln här. I think we can take it easy.
Did you not book a cow as well?
Yeah.
You know, before anyone hunts here, they have to come to the shooting range.
Of course, that's good.
And demonstrate competence.
Yeah.
And we have clients coming now from all over the world, you know? And it's something we make clear to them at any of the shows we meet them at, that when you book the hunt, you have to be able to demonstrate that you can shoot. And I think it's very important now that people expect, I think hunting has a strong role and a strong future, provided people know that it's ethical and that it's humane.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, perfect. You've done this before.
Pardon?
You've done this before.
Oh, yes, sometimes. Så nu har våran guide spanat in en grupp med handjur som ligger i en ravin här. Så att nu ska vi åka med Maddoxen upp här i höglandet. Och sen så ska vi försöka smyga oss på de här, får vi se. Så det gäller att hålla låga ställningar.
It's better they smell something than see something.
Yes.
If they see us, phew,
Yes.
gone. Okay. So when we move,
Ska vi gå lite?
much as when we're told, when we move in single file, okay? When we move in single file.
Ja, okay. Ja, single file. Yes. Nu är det så att de är mer känsliga för att se någonting. Då sticker de ganska långt. Vinden är i så fall bättre om det är något som man ska passa sig för. Vi ska försöka dra oss ner i medvindssidled för att sen gå upp mot vinden. Och vi ska gå på ett led så att vi gör så lite avtryck som möjligt. Ja.
The other thing you have to be careful of is the sheep.
Yeah.
Because if the sheep run, the deer know they only run from one thing. In the very bottom are 3 young stags moving. Okay. If you look where the stream goes out.
Yes, I see that.
Yes. These are young boys, 2 or 3 years old.
Yes. I suppose so, yes.
And quite often you're moving animals away a little to be able to get to the guys. The older stags are clever guys. Yes. They go and lie higher up the hill and they watch the young guys and the ladies down below, and then they feel safe. Yeah. So these guys are lying on the shoulder with the wind behind them, looking down the slope. They know by this time in the year that we're coming. They just don't know when.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about 30 stags there. 30? Yeah. Some quite nice ones and a lot of young guys. We'll carry on going this way because what we're going to do. Yeah, I think they're down there. They move into the top of this next valley. Okay. But the other group we looked at are around the corner. De här såg sig naturligtvis och fortsätter till nästa dalgång och höjd. Och problemet här är egentligen ett stort problem. Det är att man kan stöta fåren så fåren blir skrämda och då i sin tur så skrämmer de hjortarna. You can see deer moving in here. And here's a huge garden. And they see deer moving. Vi tittar på 3 stycken hjortar. En lite äldre som vi ska försöka ta. Kanske 6-7 år gammal. De ligger ner precis så att man inte har kul att fånga också. De måste resa sig och komma ner en liten bit. Har ungefär 157 meter säger jag avståndsmätare. Det är bra håll. Det gäller bara att vänta tills de börjar att röra sig förhoppningsvis någon gång idag.
Neil upptäcker snart ytterligare en grupp hjortar som står lite längre ner och vi bestämmer oss för att försöka komma in på dem.
100 meter från här står det.
Good shot. Good shot. Stag is killed. Yeah, you see him. Just he's well hit. Yeah, he's well hit. He's well hit. There he goes. He's down. Well done.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Good shot. Stag is killed.
Det var ett ganska lätt skott den här gången, bara 100 meter och bakom bogen och sen så gick det undan och gav sig.
A little nice one. Oh, där ser vi.
Yep. Thank you. I'll open it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show you the Scottish way of doing
Yeah,
it.
and tomorrow I'll show you the Swedish way.
Yeah,
Is it
okay.
okay?
Okay. First, I'm gonna eat my other sandwich, and I'm gonna have a drink. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
Is that okay? You left your bag up there.
yes, but vi går alltså i grupp. Vi har en guide på 2 gubbar. Så nu är det Torgnys tur att smyga på och det är så här, men det är fantastiskt skönt det här. Ja, de här hjortarna är mycket mindre än de vi har hemma i Sverige. De har inte alls den här slaktvikten, men det är en riktig utmaning att jaga på det här sättet för att de är oerhört skygga. Skyggare än vad man överhuvudtaget skulle kunna ana. Vi vet ju hur de är hemma. Men alltså 1 kilometer, 1,5 om hjorten får se en så sticker den bara. Och då är det bara att följa efter och då kan man få gå ganska så långt. Och det här var en kul jaktsituation. Det var spännande, mycket adrenalin. Hjortarna stod väldigt nära och det är lätt att bli upptäckt. Så att, det var en kul jaktsituation, verkligen. Jag rekommenderar varmt att göra det här om ni inte har gjort det förut.
Att vidga sina vyer och bege sig utomlands för att jaga kan vara riktigt intressant. Speciellt när man kommer till platser som det vackra Skottland. Storslagen natur blandat med jaktupplevelser som skiljer sig markant från den jaktkultur och i viss mån också de jaktmetoder vi har här hemma i Sverige. Sist vi sågs så jagade vi kronhjort uppe i det enormt vackra hedlandskapet. Det ska vi förvisso göra nu också. Men denna fina morgon ska vi så att säga låta hjortarna komma till oss. Kronhjortarna som finns i just det här området befinner sig på bete ute i den öppna terrängen och i takt med att ljuset kommer så beger de sig tillbaka till skogslandskapet där de har sina daglegor. Vår guide, Neil Rowantree, har järnkoll på kronhjortarna som finns i området. De är också oerhört noggranna gällande vilka djur som får fällas och inte fällas.
Jag har 2 hjortar går på ungefär exakt 592 meter går de att beta. De kommer att beta sig successivt upp för att gå upp i skogen och vila under dagen. De här hjortarna i skogen i Skottland, de fungerar precis som hjortarna gör i Sverige. Korta perioder ute, sent på kvällen, eller ja, då är de ute hela natten naturligtvis. Och väldigt, väldigt tidigt på morgonen så går de in och tar dagläge. Ja. You feel the wind is another. The wind is different. Yeah. It's this way. Yeah. It's you must go around them. They'll come to us. Yeah, okay. They should up in the forest and take rest here. Yes.
Vinden snurrar friskt och det är något som de här djuren är mycket känsliga för. Men här ska det sägas, det är bättre att de får vind av oss än att de ser oss. Om kronhjorten får syn på jägaren kan det bära av flera kilometer. I den här typen av landskap finns det inte heller speciellt mycket att gömma sig bakom, så man måste vara extremt försiktig vid ansmygningen.
Två stycken hjortar som är här nere. Det är en som är skjutbar, det är den yngre. Det går en riktigt stor här där, men den ska sparas. Vi ska försöka ta den ungefär 150 meter avstånd. Jag kan tänka det. Tack. Yes, det är efter.
This is a big stag going to the right.
Yes.
We have a big stag called Goering, that's one of his sons.
Okay, yeah.
That's it. Now this stag here is classic of the German genetics that came here in the 1930s.
This is really big.
Yeah, it's a big stag. And down by the high seat, you see more stags, no?
Yeah.
Down right in front of the high seat as well.
Okej. Nu hade vi faktiskt lite tur här också.
Many stags, look. 20, 30 by the high seat.
It's a lot of vi hade flyt, vi hade väldigt dålig vind. Men så den stora hjorten, den var ju helt klar på vad vi var. Medan den mindre stod och betade, så det var bara en snabb chans att ta
As we
den.
came over the top, the wind.
Yes.
Remember,
Yeah.
the wind has changed again now.
It's changing all the time.
Just as we lay down, the wind went and pointed straight to the deer.
Ja. Så precis som Nile säger, så är det så att vi har snurrvindar, och det är det värsta vi vet hemma också, framförallt när vi jagar älg med våra löshundar. Och det var en lurig vind. Nu vände den och vi fick den i ryggen, så det var ett snabbt beslut. Men det gick bra. Och ja, kul. Det blir lite spänning.
If you look below now, you can see the stags going into the forest. You see them all?
Yeah.
So these guys behave typically like deer you hunt at home.
Yeah. Quite exactly.
Yeah.
Ja. Det känns lite konstigt att ha folk som bär ens vapen och bär och grejer och moja. Men så här är det, och det är ju en stor och viktig del för Skottland, jakten. Den inbringar otroligt mycket ekonomi. Så de vill ha det så här. Okej, kan vara skönt ibland att slippa och släpa på grejerna. Men jag tar nog ur djuren i alla fall. Så har jag gjort någonting vettigt och bra. Det här är ju som grädde på moset. En lyckad ansmygning, skjuta en hjort, men framförallt vilket landskap. Det är nästan svårt att beskriva det här. Jag tror att man måste vara här. Eller rättare sagt, man måste vara här. Helt fantastiskt.
This is the second time we tried to shoot this stag this year.
Okej.
Yeah. About 2 weeks ago, we missed this stag on 60 meters.
Okej.
Yeah, on the top of this hill.
Oh shit.
So he had no luck. His luck ran out today.
Yeah. Really. Yeah, nice one.
It's a nice one,
Nice
yeah?
little one, yes.
When we make a selection in the herd, what we're trying to do is balance the management of the herd with the aspirations of hunters.
Yeah.
And I believe that stags don't have a big influence on the population genetically before they're 5 years old.
Yeah.
If you have a balanced population and a lot of strong males, the young boys see very little action.
Yeah.
So it's not worth worrying about their genetics at that stage.
No.
So if you shoot them younger than 5,
Yeah.
you shoot them younger than 5 because they have health issues.
Yeah.
This is my opinion.
Yeah, okay. But
What you then do
yeah.
is you wait till they're 5 years old and then you make a selection.
Yeah.
And the growth of antler is based on feeding, shelter and genetics.
Yes.
Yeah. And density also plays a role. The higher the female density, the poorer the antler growth.
Yeah.
There definitely seems to be a strong connection here. To my taste, he's too narrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The tops for an animal that are 5-6 years old are too small.
Yeah. And this
Yeah.
is about five,
yeah,
6
yeah.
years.
And the second point is missing.
Yes.
So these are characteristics I don't want in the herd.
No. That's
Yeah.
that's
You saw standing next to him a stag with 16 ends.
Yeah. It was real nice.
Yeah, and standing here beside this one is a 10-ender. But the body is strong and the antler
Yeah,
is not so good.
real nice body. Really nice.
So thank you.
Thank you.
It was the right
Thank
stag
you
to shoot.
yourself. Thank you. So, if it's okay, should I fix it?
It's entirely up to you. We might let him do it.
Yeah, will you like to? You can
Yes,
do it?
Yeah. It's student time.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Stuart comes from a what we call a keepering, a game keepering background. His father was a grouse keeper and a deer stalker in the Eastern Highlands. And Stuart's already been training for 2 years already. 2 years already. And he contacted us over a year ago and said he would like to get involved in deer hunting. So he joined us 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
Well, if you're tired of him, you can call me and you can work with me in Sweden if you like.
He'll contact you tomorrow, I think.
No, I don't think so.
So he's come here, and there's a college in the north, part of the University of the Highlands, that does a qualification in gamekeeping and wildlife management.
Okay.
And Stuart is on this course just now.
Det är precis ungefär som vi har i Sverige. De går på ett vildmarksgymnasium. Lite mer likt kanske viltmästarutbildning här, så varvar de praktik med teori. Och det är ungefär som jag har med mina APU som kommer och som går i gymnasiet. Och sen så ska man förhoppningsvis, om viljan finns och han vill fortsätta, bli jägare och guida jägare uppe på höglandet. Ja, så är det.
How do you say that again?
Morakniv.
Morakniv. Yeah, I would say absolutely excellent.
Okay.
And we have this, with the gear we have here, we put a pocket for the knife in the trousers.
Yeah,
and,
that's good.
It hides in there. And you don't have to worry when you're crawling on the mountain. A lot of guys put the knife on their belt. And when you're crawling on the mountain and you have to slide, the knife gets caught and you lose it. Whereas in here, it's no problem.
Så mora är populärt här i Skottland.
So he's going to show you a slightly different technique here. Rather than making a hole in the esophagus, he's skinning it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't argue with either way.
No.
The way you saw me do it, the reason I do it is, one, when you're old, you don't see so good.
No.
It's easier to make a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
And two, that sometimes a knot can come out.
Yeah, that's
But if the knot doesn't come out, it is tighter to tie a knot.
Yeah.
Some people these days, they use a cable tie.
Yeah, clips.
Yeah. But I would say if you do that, because particularly here in mountain country where you have big birds of prey, once the stomach is out, take the clip off.
Yeah.
Don't leave it lying on the stomach.
No.
Are we ready?
Always ready.
Are you excited?
Yeah, of course.
Good. Yes.
Förutom en himmels massa får, staket och kronhjort så är det väldigt gott om kor i Skottland. Och faktum är att kronhjorten ofta river staketen och tar sig in i kornas hagar. Det är helt enkelt bättre bete in hos korna och hjortar har inte några som helst problem att samsas med kor. Korna äter också gärna den grövre växtligheten som kronhjortarna undviker. Som Neil sa, vi skottar är jätteduktiga på att sätta upp staket. Det får vi bidrag för. Dessvärre får man inte bidrag för att plocka ner dem. Så därför står de kvar, oavsett om de används eller inte. Så vi klättrar alltså inte över staketen för att hjortarna är inhägnade eller liknande.
Mycket hjortar som går och betar här ute nu och mycket handjur, men även några grupper med hondjur och lite kalvar säkert.
Kikaren är den bästa vän man kan ha med sig i den här jaktformen. Och har man en avståndsmätare i den så är det bara en bonus. Det är nämligen rätt svårt, eller jag skulle vilja säga väldigt svårt, med avståndsbedömningen när det inte finns några referenspunkter som träd eller liknande. Här har garanterat hjortarna upptäckt oss, så nu är det låga ställningar som gäller. Det gäller också att ha en dialog med vår guide. Man vill absolut under inga omständigheter skjuta fel djur. När det gäller avelsprinciperna så är man ytterst noga med vilka djur man vill spara.
Yes. I didn't find him in this.
No?
No, it was too much.
Okay.
Well, good. That's a guess. Ja, det var lite krångel med det här för att jag hade förstoring på så jag hittade dem inte. Men sen hittade jag dem och då gick det bra. Det var jättefin gjort. En kanonfin gjort.
Även om jag skjutit några skott på banan med den här bössan så är det ändå ett lånevapen och jag måste erkänna att jag inte var riktigt överens med kikaren. Men det gick ju bra ändå. En mycket fin hjort ligger.
Last week,
Yes.
we saw a red stag chasing hinds, rutting, yeah?
Okay.
Normally in Scotland it's the 20th of September, but the 6th of September. I've seen it once before,
Okay.
many years ago, as early as this.
Do you think it depends on it's warm summer?
I think they had a good summer and
Yeah.
everything is in good condition.
Yes.
But also for us, August was very cold.
Yeah.
It was colder than it is now. And I think it started some action.
Okay.
And we had stags roaring. Stuart, when were they roaring? 18th of August.
Yep.
18th of August we had stags roaring.
Okay. That was really early.
Yeah, but now they go quiet again. We hear no roars this morning.
No.
But these guys, if you look at them, they're
Yeah.
completely ready
Yeah,
for the rut.
yeah. This is a good one there. Ja, det är ju det är det som är så fantastiskt att kunna smyga in på det här viltet som är så oerhört varskt. Och nu såg vi dem på en höjd innan. Sen skulle vi runt med vinden spöka lite grann så hjortarna började sakta dra sig bort. Men vi fick ju läge på den hjorten som vi skulle skjuta och det gick bra. Så det var kanon. How important is the hunting business for Scotland?
It's very important to Scotland, and I think increasingly to all rural places. You know, that the wise use of natural resources, particularly your wildlife, makes total sense. Our ancestors did it. We became modernised and forgot about it. But now, as we realise we have to live more in harmony with the land, then again to make wise use of wild food and natural resources makes complete sense. To Scotland, it's worth around, deer stalking alone is worth around £150 million a year.
Okay.
It directly supports around about 650 full-time jobs in places like this, remote places where there's little else. And about 5,500 other jobs are directly related to hunting estates and everything that goes on with hunting estates. And then there's a whole industry for the production of food. In the last year, venison in the UK, the flesh from the deer, the market has increased by more than 400%. So it's healthy. It's a healthy food, but it's healthy for our economy.
Yeah.
And unlike so much of our European agriculture, there's no direct subsidy from the taxpayer goes into it.
So that's really important for you.
Huge. I mean, certainly here we've seen a big change in that. I've been involved in hunting here now for 20 years. When I first started hunting here, it was a part-time job.
Yeah.
And they made the hunt for 4 or 5 weeks a year. We now have 3 full-time hunters on the estate. We have 4 additional hunters we hire in the autumn every year. And we have about 190 visitors from Europe and North America hunting here every year. And we reckon a day's spend, an average spend per day for the hunter here is about £700 by the time we allow for the hunt, the accommodation and the other things they buy.
Yeah.
Particularly the whiskey and the food.
Yes.
To someone who learns to hunt,
Yeah.
I think the ultimate experience isn't to shoot a big stag, it's nice to do it.
Yes, of course.
But what it is to hunt an animal properly, humanely,
Yeah.
and then to process that animal, and then maybe to sit down with your family, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, depending on who you are,
Yeah.
and to enjoy eating it.
Yeah.
That makes
You
it-
have a story about it when you eat it.
Yeah.
You can tell a story and
Yeah.
it's close produced food.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best.
Yeah, a lot of people that don't
And it's healthy.
Yeah, a lot of people that don't hunt, they somehow think that hunting is inhumane, and then they go to the supermarket and buy their food. And I know if I had an option, I would much rather be shot like the stag you shot there,
Yeah.
than be taken on a lorry halfway across Europe, and then join a queue to be slaughtered.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't like.
No.
And maybe the chance of a little bit of rutting before I die would be bad.
Yeah, that's a really nice one.
That is a
Really nice one.
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah? How old is he?
This is getting on now. But for us, we shoot them a little younger than you do, so this guy is probably about 9 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
But it's a nice one. Yeah. That's a hell of a stag.
Yeah? Really nice.
Yeah. You shot better ones in Sweden?
Yes, as a heavier.
Heavier,
yes.
yeah.
But this is a good one in Sweden too. So
Yes.
so it's real nice.
Jag kan varmt rekommendera kronhjortsjakt i Skottland, även om vi har det här viltet hemma i Sverige. Det blir en helt annan upplevelse. Det var både en fantastisk jaktupplevelse och framförallt kanske en fin naturupplevelse.
Ja, man får verkligen ta sig hatten och hedra det här viltet, för det är ett vilt som är värdigt och utmanande, får man ändå lov att säga. En fantastisk syn, en fantastisk näsa och allting. Och får man en sån här gjort så är man mer än nöjd.
Nu är det dags att ge sig ut på jakt efter ett får. En herre som kallas för Billgoat. Fast den heter inte riktigt så, utan vi ska få en noggrannare presentation av det här djuret av Neil. Den har funnits i över 3500 år här och lever fritt här i Skottland. Det är precis som alla andra fårarter. De har mycket bra syn. Men de har ju också en dumhet som gör att de stannar upp, så att det gäller ju egentligen bara att hitta dem och sen försöka komma i håll för dem. 300-350 meter närmare så kommer man inte, därför får man smyga en del. Så det kan nog säkert bli en bra jakt på det här också. Så öknamnet eller smeknamnet för den är Billgoat i alla fall. Men Neil kommer förklara lite mer. Det som är just nu, det är att de tror att de har fått en tidig brunst. Brunsten ligger i vanliga fall någon gång oktober-november. Och sen föder de lammen i februari, så de går ungefär 3 månader direkt. Ja. Men på något sätt så känns det som att brunsten har börjat redan nu här i september. Så de har en aning om att den är väldigt mycket för tidig. Så vi får se. De luktar fruktansvärt illa, det är det enda vi vet. Och köttet är väl kanske inte det mest delikata, framförallt inte på en gammal bagge. Men det ska bli spännande att se hur det här djuret fungerar och lever och reagerar på jakt. What is a billy goat?
A billy goat. Goats have lived in Scotland for at least 3,000 years. They came here with early settlers, and they almost immediately, well certainly very close after that time, goats started to live wild in Scotland. And many areas, this mountain area over here, its Gaelic name is Ardgowa, which means the high point of the goats.
Yeah.
Traditionally, early settlers used them for meat, for milk, and they took them with them to also keep sheep out of rocky areas. And as agriculture changed, the goats stayed. And interestingly, in Scotland, feral goats, or Neolithic, or whatever they want to call them, or old age goats, they only ever exist close to the sea or close to bodies of water. And a lot of our goats here in the winter time, you find them on the beach eating the seaweed.
Yeah, okay.
And in the summertime they go up into the rocks. And this is very early this year, but the goats are rutting.
Okay.
And you've seen as we came up here, there are billy goats walking about.
Normally it's later on the season.
Yes, it's a little later, but it's been unusual for weather. August was very cold,
Yeah.
and we noticed earlier in the week that the goats had started to rut.
And I know you told me before it smells very well.
Yes, you'll get it's pretty you can't film smell.
No.
Because people would cry.
But I can try to explain.
You can try to explain.
Yeah, okay.
I think you should demonstrate Swedish skinning technique.
No, now it's your time.
Okay.
It's your turn now.
So what we did, this area here, you'll see as you're walking over it, there are a lot of mounds in the grass. What we're trying to do here is to re-establish, we spoke a little earlier about the ancient oak forest, this sessile oak. What we're trying to do is extend the forest again as a conservation act. Unfortunately, the goats haven't quite worked this out. No. And they think we did this for them. So we have a problem. The goats do come into the trees and eat the young trees. So it's especially important that we keep the numbers down here. Okay. I understand, yes. Make this the middle of your clock.
Yeah.
Come to 5, 30 meters.
Okay.
On top of the hill stands the billy.
Okay. The single tree is following.
A single tree, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Come closer. He puts his head behind the hill again, but he's on the top of the hill. One moment his head goes in.
Okay.
Did you see him? Ah, it's the billy. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Shish kebab, that's a good billy. Might need to put your glass under to take it out. 153. Do you want to go further up? Do you want to go higher up?
It's okay here, I think.
Let's watch it. Watch that. He looks at you.
Is it okay for you?
I think you have too much of it in front of the barrel. You have too much in front of the barrel. Too much grass.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. You need to change places with me. Okay. Round you go. Yeah, well, now we're cooking. Now I think you can catch him, no problem. Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Bra syn har de i alla fall. Men de står kvar en stund.
Now look, here are the females, look. And when his head comes up again. Maybe one more time, a little lower in the shoulders, okay? Come round the rock a bit more. Come on to the top. Take your time and come on to the top here. Make your... Come up on here. He's hit high in the spine, yeah?
Sorry, I know.
He's hit high here on the spine.
Okay.
I would come on top of here,
Okay.
okay?
Wait.
Perfect. You've always got to be mindful here when you're hunting near the rock though, for the end of the barrel. You probably find this the same when you're hunting in the north of Sweden, that you have to watch for the end of the barrel for the rocks.
Yeah. But I was most
It was the grass.
afraid for this.
Yeah, the grass.
Vi väntade lite grann för att det var ett högt lungskott och det kan ha tagit kanske lite för högt, men jag tror att den kommer bli det. Men vi avvaktar så han inte reser sig upp.
Oh, I can smell you now, boy.
Stevie,
Prost!
you take him.
Very nice, Neil.
You get the smell of him now, eh?
Yes. It smell like, den luktar ungefär som ganska dålig ost kan jag säga. Och det känns på lång väg. Och som tur är så arbetar ju inte jag här, utan det här är ju faktiskt guidernas arbete. När jag är hemma, då hjälper jag dem, mina gäster alltså, och nu så hjälper de mig. Tycker jag är bra.
This is very typical. Oh, let's give him a cuddle, Neil. Yeah, that's very typical of a feral
Okay.
goat, okay?
Now we must explain. It's a year for...
What you can see is you get the distinct year bands, okay? So you have 1, 2,
Yeah.
3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy is 5 years old.
Yes.
This billy is 5, okay?
Yeah. And this is a big one for a billy goat.
For a billy goat, this is a good billy.
Yeah.
There are occasionally you might get them a little bit down about here, but for the billy goats we've seen recently, this is a nice one. He's mature. It's a nice trophy.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting hunt for us. The goats, as we say, they do well along the seashore and in the woodlands because they're browsers and they're very capable of going to different areas.
Yeah.
It's important that you keep the population at a level that the woodlands can survive, and you'll always find them classically where you are here.
Yeah.
Where there's some rock and there's a lot of browsing in the rocks, and there's some woodland in the winter time, and they can come down to the seashore.
And they are like all the goats. They have a good. They see very well.
They see well.
Yeah.
They've got a reasonably good sense of smell. You saw we were on this rock up here,
Yeah.
and when we came around the edge of the rock, he could see us.
Yes. Good.
It's an interesting animal. Some people say that Europe changes a lot, and people say this is a native species to Europe. This is not a native species to Europe.
Yeah.
And for many, there's an argument that this goat was brought here by settlers.
Yeah.
And because of this, they say it's feral, and because of this, they say it's not native. But there are many animals in Europe now that we brought.
Yeah.
And there's increasing evidence now that not only with goats, but with our other animals, we moved them to places in Europe where we wanted them. And perhaps after 3,000 years,
Yeah.
he's allowed to call himself a local.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. A really local.
A real local.
And it's interesting. The females can have maximum two
Yes.
lambs.
Normally it's in the later part of the autumn. We're now in early September.
Yeah.
We wouldn't expect to see rutting activity for the goats for at least a month. So minimum we're seeing with a lot of things this year, minimum things are 3 to 4 weeks early.
Yeah.
So it's unusual.
Yeah.
It's interesting for us. One of the things we have here too that affects the survival of the goats is the fact that the sea eagles are increasing now. We have a big population of sea eagles, and they take a lot of the goat kids. So there's an argument there that perhaps the goats play an important role, not just for meat and for hunting, but also as a food source for the eagles.
Yes, and this meat is not fantastic, so it's no harm to leave it here, and it must be good because if you leave it, they leave other animals in peace. So that's very good.
Yeah.
I think we do
absolutely.
that.
Yes, I think we'll do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to demonstrate how, do you?
No.
But that's a nice billy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's been a good experience, and you've hunted very well.
Thank you very much, and I have been guiding very well from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nu pratar jag ju baklänges. Och tack och lov här nu så behöver jag inte göra det själv. Här är det inte jag som är yrkesjägaren, utan här har vi duktiga killar. Och varför man gör så här, det är ett bogmontage helt enkelt. Jag fick rekommenderat att göra ett bogmontage på det här, och den ser ju ganska så fräck ut helt enkelt. Och det är ett minne naturligtvis. Så trofén är en god etisk fråga, det ska man ju veta. Även om vi i Sverige kanske är lite sämre på att spara troféer, i alla fall om jag går till mig själv. Men den här ska vi spara, och det här ska bli ett bogmontage.
For a handsome animal like this, it's nice.
Yes, that's nice, and that's the ethic. It's a good ethic, so I don't...
Are you hungry, Steven?
Very. He's going to eat a big handful in a moment.
Det här är ju också en form av skyddsjakt kan man säga, för här har man hängnat in 1000 hektar skog, men getterna bryr sig inte om det, och nu i brunsttid så har de tagit sig in här. Så att det är ju av flera syften som man skjuter dem här. Och då försöker man naturligtvis när man kan att selektera. Här har vi skjutit en gammal bagge, han är 5 år gammal och luktar väldigt illa. De har en fruktansvärd doft. Det tål att sägas flera gånger. Det går ju inte att förmedla det här på ett annat sätt än att säga det. Så att, och sen dessutom, köttet är i princip oätligt. Inte gott i alla fall. Och därför lämnar man det här till örnarna. Och det sparar ju andra djur naturligtvis. Man har mycket får i Skottland och örnen tar mycket lamm. Så det här är ju ett bra sätt.